Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Tuesday, October 17th, 2017. I am Dan Rubin. This is Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change, joined on this clear, crisp, Gem City morning by the best guy I know, Duane Long. Duane, getting a little late start today. My fault. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm ready to roll.
I am also good. I am also ready to roll. The question is, Anthony Cook, defensive back from Texas. Where is he ready to roll to? Let's set the scene here a little bit. Long thought to be an Ohio State lean for a variety of reasons. We also know that he visited Texas a few weeks ago, and they made a strong impression on him. He was at LSU this past weekend. Those are his final three. We have an announcement date of October 30th. And as, could have been predicted, there is some momentum building, theoretically, for Texas. Crystal balls are flowing that way. Now, I will say this. There has not been a crystal ball turned by an Ohio State reporter. What you're getting is the Texas types doing it, so take that with a grain of salt. Duane, how important to you is the recruitment of Anthony Cook? Do you feel like he falls into the must-get category?
Yeah. The way defensive backs, especially quarterbacks, are leaving this program early, we talk about how good it is for recruiting, but then you've got to get kids then. You can't lose them and not replace them. So, keeping that talent coming to the door is very important. It's key to the thing. You can't, you got to get kids in here. So I think it's very important to get Cook. He's one of the really elite quarterbacks in this class. It's a good class, not as good as last year, but good. And you got to refill the ranks. So it's very important that Cook come this way.
I agree. I checked in with some people this morning who I trust, and I think what we're getting here is the last-ditch efforts of a desperate program run by Tom Herman. Listen, I don't blame them. They've already let several studs leave their state, and, they're watching Ohio State play with J.K. Dobbins and Jeffrey Okudah and, Baron Browning, et cetera. Demetrius Knox, for that matter. I can see how that would be a depressing sight for a Longhorns fan. That said, I still got to believe Ohio State's going to win out here, and this is why. I think in the long run, guys of this level, now make no mistake about it, Cook is a five-star elite of the elite. This is not, this is your lottery pick. This is your one-and-done type recruitment. I still think if he looks at it, I think Marshawn Lattimore had an interception for a touchdown this weekend. Malik Hooker's probably could be AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. We all know, what Bradley Roby is doing. And then you add in the fact that Jeffrey Okudah is already getting on the field. I just can't believe Cook is going to make the decision to go to Texas over Ohio State. We shall see. Another big recruitment, and it's important to mention, Ohio State obviously feels it's very important. Greg Schiano and Urban Meyer were in Texas to visit Cook yesterday. Today, a visit will be paid to Jayson Oweh, the defensive end from Blair Academy in rural New Jersey, basically. What's your vibe on the defensive end recruitment? It does not look like Tyreke Smith is headed this way now. Where did you have the three guys ranked? We went back to Micah Parsons and Oweh and, of course, Tyreke Smith. Did you have a favorite of the three?
As much as I like Smith, I really, really like Smith. I had Oweh number one. Just the fact that he was that good and he had played so little football. Just so little football. I really was. If I could only pick one, it would be him. my order would be Oweh, Smith, and then Parsons. Parsons is the best football player of the three, but he is just not a good fit for our 4-3 as an end. He's just, length is everything out on the edges like that. And, he's just not a long kid. They say 6'3", maybe 6'2". Actually, I think he might be best as a running back. Very impressive as a running back. But, Oweh would be the biggest loss to me. He's got so much upside. Just so little football under his belt. He shouldn't even have fundamentals down yet. So, Oweh is really the prize of the three on my board.
I think I would agree in terms of risk factor. Parsons, from what I've heard of the off-field stuff, I just don't think Ohio State's in a position where they have to take a risk like that. To me, Oweh, the kind of kid he is, and like you mentioned how raw he is, Blair's a prep school. He's a great student. To me, those guys are solid investments. Like my trust in Larry Johnson, et cetera, on what they could do with Oweh. I would think I would take him first. Tyreke Smith, I'm kind of impressed with the guy. The way he's handled the process. I think he's handled it like an adult, doing this very clearly to get himself to the league, which I think is impressive. Got a mature way about him. If he picks Penn State over Ohio State, I think he's making a mistake, but I would respect his decision. The kid seems to have a really good head on his shoulders. But we'll follow that. I think we need to see normally I wouldn't say this, but I really do think we need to see how the Penn State game goes, how the visit goes and such, considering those two teams are battling it out for the recruitment, and then they're going to do it on the field. In this case, I think we need to check the temperature a few days after Penn State comes calling, so we'll get to that. On to the team. I've noticed now that the rankings have come out and Ohio State has moved up to number 6, and now everyone in the country realizes Ohio State, if they went out, is going to the championship or the playoff. They're starting to get some negative backlash now. All the positivity for JT Barrett has now been turned into the national pundits as a weak schedule. Duane, the last month or so of JT Barrett, is it a mirage based on the competition, or has this offense turned a page back to 2014?
Before I address that, one thing I want to say about Smith, I really do not like Penn State getting back into battles in Ohio against Ohio State for Ohio kids and winning. I think that is a turning point for James Franklin in that program. The only thing is Smith did not grow up in Ohio. He's not an Ohio kid. He didn't live in Ohio. He just lived in Ohio. He's, and as you said, this is all about, he gave up basketball because he had a better shot at playing football at the pro level. But I still just do not like seeing Penn State able to win head-to-head battles where we really wanted the kid. Now, as far as this, and now as far as JT and the schedule, I just got to look at it. These were not strong opponents, but what did we do? We rolled them. We absolutely destroyed them, and JT has looked better each week. The last 4 weeks. Each week, Dan, he's been a little bit better. I think he made a real jump. Game 3 in this 4-game run, he looked really good. Saturday he looked like 2014 vintage JT Barrett. Almost made the trip to New York. He's just rolling right now. The receivers, I love that we've, one thing I've been complaining about for a while is cut down the rotation. Get comfortable, let him get comfortable with a few guys. And we still playing 6 guys, including the walk-on C.J. Sanders, but 4 guys are really getting the bulk of the reps out there. And I think that's helped him. I think more Kevin Wilson and less Urban Meyer has helped him. So you can say that these opponents were weak, yeah, and what did we do? We destroyed them. We scored 50 points, at least 50 points, in the last 4 weeks. just roll these teams up. So they can say poor schedule, but it really, JT is playing better. Everybody's playing better. I'm a little concerned about defensive backfield because giving up 400 yards passing is just, you can't do that. So we're playing better against opponents that are not really good. That's just a technicality as far as I'm concerned. We'll just destroy it. So let them talk.
Agreed. I think people need to take into account Ohio State has played some cupcakes, but every good team has teams like this on their schedule. What they did in the second half to Indiana, that was the same Indiana team that played Michigan, that went to overtime, and literally, if Sidney Cobb stays in bounds on 2 plays by a hair, they probably win that game. So if there had not been a change in offensive play calling, if it wasn't Ronnie's show now, I would be concerned. But there has been a change. And I think what we're doing is getting back to a Herman-like offensive coordinator outside the box like approach here. It took a while for it to take. Obviously, nothing will really count until a week from Saturday, which brings us to our final topic of the day. Huge game in the Big Ten. Penn State versus Michigan. I just want to say how much, and I've said it so many times, I love the fact that Ohio State has the bye. There was some discussion of people thinking Ohio State should want to play this weekend. And my trusty partner on Bucknuts Live, Mark Neal, thought they should play this weekend to keep the momentum going. That makes no sense to me. You cannot convince me that sitting at home and relaxing is not better for your body than going and playing Penn State or Michigan and then having to do the same the next week. You saw the effect it had in Ohio State at the end of the game at Penn State last year when they ran out of gas. So, that's just an obvious point there to me. What is your vibe heading into this game? Who do you think will win? Who do you want to win, et cetera?
Well, I really think that the Buckeyes are this is a nice time for the bye week. Came too early last year, didn't do anything for us. This time we got a few walking wounded. We had some guys come out of the game Saturday, not looking too good. Get a little healed up and get really all that time to really focus on Penn State, team that beat them last year, and we hated that loss. We absolutely hated that loss, especially the way we lost it. So my vibe is that this is just nothing but a revenge game. We got them in Ohio Stadium. Recruits are going to be out in force. It's a huge game. It has national championship. It has playoff the playoffs are going to be decided right here, Dan, for us. If we don't beat Penn State, we're not going anywhere.
So you expect Penn State to beat Michigan?
Oh yeah. Michigan is just not a very good football team right now. They're really not, like you said. And you forgot to mention the field goal that was blocked.
Sure.
Indiana was the better football team last Saturday. They just were. Michigan is really bad at quarterback. We've been talking about it on the boards. Nobody's been impressed with State. He's a vast improvement over O'Korn. O'Korn is just not very good. So I think Penn State rolls them. I think they absolutely. Well, Michigan's defense is really good, so I don't think it's going to be a complete blowout. But they'll roll them up. No, it won't be a big game. I think Michigan's got very little chance. Penn State has to lose that game. Michigan cannot win it. So this game here it has national championship implications. We beat Penn State. They're ranked number 2. That pushes us up at least one spot and maybe 2. So, we'll see what's happening after this game. I think it has everything on the line for us and Penn State. Penn State can't lose to us and think they're going to make the playoff.
I
do
agree.
it.
Keep in mind, the winner of this game is likely to go to the Big Ten championship game. And given the fact that it's going to be Wisconsin on the other side, most likely, that game is the one you want to get to in terms of power points, et cetera, to get yourself into the playoffs. So last year that game wasn't there for them. The opposing team wasn't good enough. So it should be very interesting to watch. It's all in front of the Buckeyes. I know we may have thought when they lost to Oklahoma that all was lost. It's the exact opposite now. Everything's in front of them. So it should be a fun ride to the end. We appreciate Duane stopping by. Have a good one, Bucknutters.